How to communicate naturally in France, French culture, social norms, and travel tips. Part 1. Introduction and Understanding French Communication. Welcome to Smart English Start, the place where you learn English the smart way. Today we're traveling to France, a country known for its rich history, world-famous cuisine, and unique cultural etiquette. But did you know that communicating in France is very different from communicating in the UK or the US? So in this video, we'll cover the key differences between French and English communication styles, how to have natural conversations in France, essential etiquette and cultural do's and don'ts, must-visit places, and how to navigate France like a local. Whether you're traveling to Paris, the French countryside, or the beaches of the French Riviera, this video will help you communicate naturally in France. 1. French versus English communication key differences. One of the first things you'll notice when speaking in France is that French communication is more formal than in English-speaking countries. Let's look at some key differences. Formal versus informal speech. Vous versus tu. In formal situations, always use vous. You, formal. In casual situations, with close friends or younger people, use tu. You, informal. If you're unsure, always start with vous. It's more polite. Directness versus indirectness. French people tend to be more direct than Americans or British people. They often express their opinions openly and don't sugarcoat things. However, they still appreciate politeness and proper etiquette. Gestures and body language. In France, eye contact is important in conversations. It shows confidence and engagement. French people often use hand gestures when speaking, especially in passionate discussions. A firm handshake is the standard greeting in professional settings. Understanding these small differences will help you sound more natural when speaking in France. 2. French politeness and social etiquette. In France, manners and politeness are extremely important. How to be polite in French culture. Always say bonjour, good morning, when entering a shop or restaurant. Use merci, thank you, and s'il vous plaît, please, often. If you bump into someone, say pardon, excuse me. When leaving a shop, say au revoir, goodbye. The importance of greetings. When meeting someone for the first time, a handshake is appropriate. Close friends often greet with a kiss on both cheeks, called la bise. If you're unsure, wait for the other person to initiate the greeting. French people appreciate good manners, so taking a little extra effort with greetings can make a great first impression. Part 2. Common mistakes and social norms in France. Now that we've covered the key differences in French communication, let's talk about some common mistakes travelers make and how to avoid them. French people value politeness, respect, and cultural traditions, so knowing these social norms will help you have a more natural and enjoyable experience in France. One mistake, number 1, not greeting people properly. In many countries, you can walk into a store or restaurant without saying anything. But in France, this is considered rude. What to do when entering a shop or cafe? Always say bonjour, good morning, afternoon, or bonsoir, good evening when entering. When leaving, say merci, au revoir, thank you, goodbye. If you forget to greet the staff, you might get bad service or even be ignored. 2. Mistake number 2, using tu instead of vous too soon. In French, there are 2 words for you, tu, informal, used with close friends, family, and children. Vous, formal, used with strangers, older people, and in professional settings. When to use vous? When speaking to waiters, shop assistants, and taxi drivers. When talking to someone older or in a professional setting. When meeting someone for the first time. Switching to tu too early can be seen as disrespectful, so wait for the other person to suggest it first. 3. Mistake number 3, expecting fast service at restaurants. In many countries, restaurant service is quick and efficient, but in France, dining is meant to be slow and relaxed. What to expect at a French restaurant? Waiters won't rush you. Meals are meant to be enjoyed. You have to ask for the bill. They won't bring it unless you request it. Tipping is optional. A small tip, 5 to 10%, is appreciated but not required. If you're in a hurry, go to a cafe or boulangerie instead. But at a restaurant, expect to take your time. For mistake number 4, not trying to speak any French. Many French people speak English, especially in tourist areas, but they appreciate it when visitors make an effort to speak French. Easy French phrases to use: Bonjour, hello. Merci, thank you. Excusez-moi, excuse me. Parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? Even if your French isn't perfect, people will appreciate your effort and be more willing to help you. Mistake number 5, talking too loudly in public. In some cultures, talking loudly in public is normal, but in France, people generally speak more softly. Where you should lower your voice: on public transportation, metro, buses, trains. In cafes and restaurants, loud conversations can seem disruptive. At museums and historical sites, silence is expected. If you're too loud, people may give you disapproving looks, so try to keep your voice down. Mistake number 6, misunderstanding French body language. French people use a lot of facial expressions and hand gestures, but their body language can sometimes seem different from other cultures. Common French gestures and their meanings: shrugging shoulders means I don't know or I don't care. Pursing lips and blowing air means I don't approve or that's annoying. Touching the tip of the nose means it's a secret or be careful. Understanding nonverbal communication can help you avoid misunderstandings. Mistake number 7, expecting stores to be open all day. In the US or UK, shops stay open late into the evening, but in France, many businesses close for a few hours in the afternoon. Typical French business hours: shops and boutiques open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., but may close from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Restaurants open for lunch, 12 p.m., 2:30 p.m., and dinner, 7 p.m., 10:30 p.m. Sundays, many businesses are completely closed. Plan ahead. Don't expect to go shopping or eat at odd hours. By avoiding these common mistakes, you'll have a smoother, more enjoyable experience in France. Part 3, must visit places in France. France is one of the most visited countries in the world, and for good reason. From iconic cities to stunning landscapes, world-famous cuisine, and historic landmarks, there's something for everyone. Let's explore some of the must-visit places in France. For Paris, the City of Lights. Paris is the heart of France, a city known for its romance, history, and culture. Top attractions in Paris. Eiffel Tower, the most iconic landmark in France. Go to the top for an unforgettable view. Louvre Museum, home to the Mona Lisa and thousands of masterpieces. Notre Dame Cathedral, a Gothic masterpiece with beautiful stained glass. Champs-Élysées and Arc de Triomphe, one of the world's most famous streets, perfect for shopping and sightseeing. Montmartre and Sacré-Cœur, a charming hilltop neighborhood with street artists and panoramic views. Seine River Cruise, a romantic way to see Paris from the water. And of course, don't leave Paris without trying croissants, macarons, and authentic French wine. The French Riviera, luxury and Mediterranean beauty. The French Riviera, Côte d'Azur, is famous for its beautiful beaches, luxury resorts, and Mediterranean charm. Top places to visit in the French Riviera. Nice, stunning seaside views and the famous Promenade des Anglais. Cannes, known for the Cannes Film Festival and luxury shopping. Monaco, a tiny but glamorous country with the famous Monte Carlo Casino. Saint-Tropez, a hotspot for celebrities and beautiful beaches. If you love sunshine, yachts, and high-end fashion, the French Riviera is for you. 3. Provence, lavender fields and charming villages. Provence is one of the most picturesque regions in France, famous for its lavender fields, historic towns, and delicious food. Best places to visit in Provence. Avignon, home to the Palace of the Popes and a famous medieval bridge. Gourdes, a stunning hilltop village with amazing views. Aix-en-Provence, a charming town with markets and fountains. Lavender Fields, Valensole Plateau, best visited in June and July for breathtaking purple landscapes. Provence is a dream destination for those who love history, nature, and French countryside life. For the Loire Valley, castles and wine country. The Loire Valley is known as the Garden of France, famous for its fairy tale castles and vineyards. Must-visit castles in the Loire Valley. Château de Chambord, a massive Renaissance castle with over 400 rooms. Château de Chenonceau, a romantic castle built over a river. Château de Villandry, famous for its spectacular gardens. If you love history, castles, and wine tasting, the Loire Valley is a perfect destination. 5 Mont Saint-Michel, a fairy tale island. Mont Saint-Michel is one of the most magical places in France, a medieval abbey on a tiny island that appears to float on water. Why you should visit Mont Saint-Michel? It looks like something from a fantasy movie. At high tide, the island is completely surrounded by water. The abbey has over 1,000 years of history and incredible views. Walking through the narrow medieval streets of Mont Saint-Michel feels like stepping back in time. Normandy, history, and coastal beauty. Normandy is famous for its beautiful cliffs, delicious cuisine, and World War II history. Top attractions in Normandy. D-Day landing beaches. Visit the historic beaches where Allied forces landed in 1944. Omaha Beach and American Cemetery, a moving tribute to Wubby soldiers. Etretat Cliffs, stunning white cliffs along the coast. Rouen, a medieval city where Joan of Arc was executed. Normandy is a must-visit for history lovers and nature enthusiasts. 7 Alsace, the most charming villages in France. Alsace is one of the most unique regions in France, blending French and German culture. Most beautiful places in Alsace. Strasbourg, a fairy tale city with canals and a famous Christmas market. Colmar, known for its colorful half-timbered houses. Rickeweir and Eguisheim, tiny villages that look straight out of a storybook. Alsace is also famous for white wine, cheese, and delicious Christmas treats. France has so many incredible places to explore, from historic cities to breathtaking natural landscapes. No matter where you go, you'll experience amazing sights, delicious food, and unforgettable memories.